Hi everyone, my name is Phoebe and I'll be your IELTS coach again for today. If you have already checked our last video, you might have known already what IELTS is, who takes IELTS, how much does it cost, and so much more. Today, I'm going to create a video which is basically the part 2 of your IELTS orientation. This video is going to focus on comparing the different IELTS formats available. Now let's start. Okay, so as you can see, we have two IELTS format. It's called the academic module and the general training IELTS. So anyway, if you are a person who wish to actually pursue your undergraduate or postgraduate course in an English-speaking country, or probably you are a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer in the Philippines who wish to work in a professional setting in an English-speaking country, then take the academic module. This test assesses the test taker's English language proficiency at an academic level. On the other hand, the general training only sees the English language capabilities of the test takers in a work or a social environment. Therefore, it is much more fitted to those people who wish to get their secondary education, maybe complete a vocational training in an English-speaking countries, or work or migrate to an English-speaking countries. Now let's take a look at how can IELTS be taken. All right, let me disappear for a while. So how can we take IELTS? We do have two major methods. We call it the paper-based IELTS and the computer-delivered IELTS. So for both methods, the speaking test will be very much the same. It's an 11 to 15 minutes face-to-face interview. However, your written test, which includes your writing, your listening, and your reading, will be done on paper if you are taking the paper-based, obviously, and it will be done on computers if you are taking the computer-delivered examination. One of the benefits of taking the computer-delivered examination is actually the 3 to 5 days period when the test report form will be released. However, in the paper-based examination, the results will only be released after 13 days from your test dates. Another thing is with computer-delivered examination, you can actually choose your own schedule for the speaking interview and the written tests. However, for the paper-based examinations, they are normally done in the morning from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the written tests. And the speaking can fall 1 week before or 1 week after your written test schedule. Got it? Anyways, if you have any questions, you can always send me a message or probably drop a comment. Oh, before I forget, Phoebe, what if I'm going to the UK? Now, there is a thing called the UK's CELT. Phoebe, what is CELT? CELT basically means a secure English language test. So if you are going to the UK for work or studies, for visas and immigration, normally the government agencies asks you a UKVI. Again, UKVI stands for UK Visas and Immigration. You can also take either the academic module or the general training. Lately, they have actually launched these three different life skills for UKVI, which could last from 16 to 22 minutes depending on the life skills you're going to take, A1, A2, or B1. Okay, this is the most important part of this video, the test pattern. Now let's take a look. As I mentioned in my previous video, there are four subtests: listening, reading, writing, and the speaking. So when it comes to the academic and general training for the listening subtests, there are they are basically the same. There are four sections with 40 questions, and it should be done in 40 minutes. For the reading, on the other hand, the academic has three long, more difficult passages with 40 questions, and it should be done in 60 minutes. On the other hand, the general training has three shorter passages. It's way easier, guys, and it also has 40 questions in it. So you have to also finish it in 60 minutes. Since the general training is a lot easier, the conversion of scores, this is by the way for the listening raw score. You can take a snippet of it. But I want to show you the differences in the reading raw score conversion. So as you can see, this is for the academic reading. If you get 39 to 40, you score 9. But in the general training, one mistake at 39 raw score could mean an 8.5. Imagine. Again, this is just very reasonable because IELTS general training reading examination is way easier than the academic training. Okay, now let's move on to the writing. The writing, on the other hand, is the same in terms of your task 2, which is the essay writing. Your task 1 differs because with academic, you need to write a report. You'll be given a graph and write at least 150 words to describe it. While in the general training, again, it's a lot easier because you just need to write a letter. I'll show you some examples later, guys. And for the speaking, let's go to the last subtest. This speaking test, as I mentioned, is an 11 to 15 minutes face-to-face interview with 3 parts. So it has this ascending difficulty as you go along to the parts. Anyway, don't worry. I'll be making a video for each of the subtests and give you some practical tips that could probably help you, or will surely help you, actually. All right, here are the promised examples I mentioned. For the academic module task 1 writing, you will see these sorts of graph. And all you really need to do is summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. You are required to write, of course, at least 150. What about the general training? Here you go. As I mentioned, the general training is a lot easier. You may be able to ask to write a letter to a friend, which is a personal or an informal letter. You may be able to actually write a formal letter or a semi-formal letter, depending on what you get. Okay, now what about the listening? In the computer delivered examination, this is exactly how it looks like, and you can write directly in these spaces right here. This is also how it looks like for the paper-based examination. Just take note that for the listening examination, you only get to hear the questions once. Now, here is also an example for the reading computer delivered examination. You will see this passage right here, and there are also a set of questions on the other side. Actually, it's cool because they have highlighting features and all. Now, this is what it looks like for the answer sheet. If you're taking the paper-based examination, the staff will be giving you this answer sheet and also the booklet of questionnaires. Okay, so this is what you're gonna be filling out for answers. Now, the biggest question is actually, which should I be taking? The academic module or the general training module? Now, like mentioned in the previous part, government agencies, institutions, and other recognizing organizations have their own set of IELTS entry requirements. So before you register and whatsoever, you first contact the organizations you're applying for and ask for an inquiry on what IELTS are they requiring you for the application? Okay, now when it comes to the computer delivered examination or the paper based examination, it really is very dependent on your preferences. Say, in my case, I am very bad when it comes to handwriting. Literally, my handwriting or my penmanship is illegible. So normally, if I had to take between the two, I would go with a computer delivered examination. The only drawback for the computer delivered exam in my case is I easily get dizzy and lightheaded when I in front of the PC for a long time. And when it comes to the computer delivered examination, I have to sit for 40 minutes doing my listening examination, then another 60 minutes for my reading. Remember, all the written examinations, they are done in one sitting without a break. So if you wish to go to the toilet in between, your timer will never be stopped. It will continue running. So go to the toilet or go everywhere to take a break, a short break, but your timer never stops. Okay, so again, which should I be taking? It's up to you. That's it for today, everybody. I hope you got a glimpse of what are the different IELTS formats. If you have any questions, drop your comment below. And please watch out for the next few videos I'll be making because those will be the practical tips of each subtest. I'll see you soon in my other videos. Bye!